In the school year that began in 1999, 17-year-old Ramit Sethi walked into the stock market carrying a $2,000 scholarship check. He had spent more than a year applying for college money. His parents had told him that scholarships were how he would pay for school, so he built a system and applied to about 60 of them. That first award felt like proof that the system worked. Then, the organization did something unusual. It wrote the check directly to him instead of sending it to the school. Ramit looked at the market, saw tech stocks racing upward, and decided he could make the money grow. Within weeks, half of it was gone. That loss could have turned him against investing. Instead, it made him suspicious of the way people talk about money. He started reading finance books and magazines, watching the experts on television, and studying why people knew what they should do but still did nothing. At Stanford, he tried teaching free money classes to other students. Almost nobody showed up. That failure taught him a second lesson. Good information is useless if the system is too annoying to follow. The usual advice told people to track every penny, study every product, and feel bad whenever they bought something fun. It demanded constant attention from people who were already tired of thinking about money. Ramit began to see the real problem. The plan was asking ordinary humans to behave like machines. So in 2004, he started a blog from his dorm room. He mixed basic money rules with what he was learning about human behavior. 5 years later, that blog became I Will Teach You to Be Rich. The book's core argument is simple. Build a mostly automatic money system, spend heavily on what you truly love, and stop wasting energy on everything else. That word, rich, is where people often misunderstand him. He is not promising a yacht by next Tuesday. Your rich life might mean taking your family on one big trip every year, leaving a job you hate, ordering an appetizer without checking the price, or sleeping at night without wondering which bill will bounce. The point is to name the life first, then make your money serve it. Ramit calls his approach the 85% solution. You do not need the perfect bank, the perfect fund, or the perfect spreadsheet. A good system you actually use beats a flawless plan that stays in your head. That is the first reversal in the book. Ramit lost money by trying to be clever, then built his career by making money boring. The goal is not to become a money expert. The goal is to build a life that no longer needs one. In the 2019 edition of the book, Sean Wilkins describes starting with $40,000 of debt. He did not escape by finding a magical stock. He negotiated a raise, took on side projects, automated his finances, and paid the debt down within 2 years. He and his wife also reported building close to $200,000 in savings over a 2-year period. That story carries one of the book's least glamorous ideas. Before you chase returns, stop the expensive leaks. If you carry a credit card balance, the interest can work against you faster than a normal investment is likely to work for you. So, Ramit's order is blunt. Know exactly what you owe. Choose a payment amount. Set it to move automatically. Then, attack the balance while keeping every other bill on time. This is not about shame. Shame makes people avoid statements, ignore calls, and hope the number somehow gets smaller. A payment plan turns a frightening blur into a date on a calendar. Then, you go after the big costs: rent, insurance, interest rates, fees, the things that can move hundreds or thousands of dollars, not the $3 purchase that makes personal finance feel like punishment. Samir Desai gives a clean example in that same edition. He offered his landlord a longer lease. The landlord cut his rent by $175 a month, saving him more than $3,500. One conversation beat months of feeling guilty about coffee. The same move works on smaller fees. If a bank or card company charges you, call with a clear request and a record of your history. A polite 5-minute conversation may erase the charge. If it does not, you have lost 5 minutes. If it does, that is an extraordinary hourly rate. That does not mean small spending is invisible. It means small spending should answer to a bigger plan. Ramit divides take-home pay into 4 broad buckets. Fixed costs usually get about 50 to 60%. Investments get around 10%. Savings goals get 5 to 10%. Guilt-free spending gets what remains, often 20 to 35%. Those are starting ranges, not laws. A parent in San Francisco and a single renter in Ohio will not have the same numbers. The value is seeing the whole picture at once. If fixed costs swallow 80% of your pay, skipping lunch will not rescue you. You may need a cheaper home, a different car, a higher income, or a serious debt plan. The spreadsheet is not insulting you. It is showing you where the real fight is. And when the basics are handled, the guilt-free bucket is supposed to be spent. That is the part traditional budgets forget. A plan that leaves no room for your actual life eventually becomes a plan you abandon. Cutting everything makes you miserable. Cutting the right thing makes you free. In 2011, Ross Fletcher set up a fully automated money system. According to his account in the 2019 edition, his net worth was near zero when he began. By the time his story appeared in the book, it was close to $450,000. He said bills, retirement contributions, and ordinary spending no longer required constant worry. The important part is not that you will copy his result. You may earn less, owe more, or start later. The important part is what Ross removed from the process. He removed the need to make the right choice every payday. Most money plans assume that next month's version of you will be focused, calm, and excited to move cash into 6 different accounts. You already know that person is unreliable. He gets busy. He orders food. He forgets a due date. Automation lets today's responsible decision overrule next month's tired mood. The book's setup works like a small plumbing system. Your paycheck enters a checking account. Soon after, automatic transfers send money towards savings and investments. Bills and credit cards are paid on schedule. What remains is yours to use without running a courtroom trial over every dinner. You still check the system. Automation is not permission to stop reading statements or to pay a credit card bill you cannot cover. It simply handles the repeatable moves so your attention is saved for unusual problems. If the full setup feels too big, Ramit suggests proving the pipe works with a tiny amount. Even $5 moved automatically is evidence. Once the transfer happens without drama, you can raise it. Leave enough cash in checking to prevent the transfers themselves from causing an overdraft. Schedule them after your paycheck normally clears, not before. Then watch the first cycle closely. A good automatic system is built once, tested once, and checked from time to time. It is not switched on blindly and forgotten forever. This sounds almost too simple, which is why people skip it. They would rather compare savings accounts for 3 weeks than open one. They research the perfect investment while another year passes with nothing invested. That is the trap behind perfection. A 1% improvement that runs every month can beat a brilliant decision you never repeat. The same logic applies when your income rises. If a raise lands in your checking account and stays there, your spending will usually expand to meet it. If part of that raise is redirected automatically on the first payday, you can improve your future without feeling as if your present life was cut. You are not trying to win a daily argument with yourself. You are changing the room so the argument rarely happens. Willpower is a visitor. A system has a key. In 2007, Warren Buffett made a $1 million bet with the investment firm Protégé Partners. Buffett chose a plain fund that followed the Standard & Poor's 500. Protégé chose 5 funds made up of more than 200 hedge funds, packed with highly paid experts who could trade, switch managers, and react to the market. The contest ran from the start of 2008 through the end of 2017. Buffett's simple index fund won. His point was not that experts are stupid. It was that high fees and constant activity create a heavy load that investors have to overcome. That result fits Ramit's investing rule almost perfectly. Investing should be boring. You do not need to repeat his teenage mistake by betting important money on one exciting stock. You can use a low-cost, diversified index fund or a target date fund that adjusts its mix as retirement approaches. Put it inside the right account for your goal, automate the contribution, and give it years to work. There are no guaranteed returns. Markets fall, sometimes hard. Money you may need soon does not belong in a volatile investment. But for long-term goals, constant guessing can be more dangerous than a simple plan you can hold through ugly years. The book also refuses to treat cutting costs as the only path. There is a floor under how little you can spend. There is no fixed ceiling on what you can earn. Claire Peacock says she read the book in 2010 while working as an executive assistant at a small publisher. She was 25 and earning $28,000 a year. By the time her result appeared in the 2019 edition, she was leading a team of writers in San Francisco and earning $155,000. That jump did more than a lifetime of skipped lattes could do. It also shows why your money plan must include your career. Negotiate. Build a useful skill. Look for a better role. Make the pie larger instead of spending your whole life fighting over crumbs. Then, spend with intent. One of Ramit's friends received a raise and moved into a smaller apartment that same day. He did not care much about housing. He cared about camping and biking, so he cut the costs that meant little and protected the spending that made his life feel rich. There is no approved list of joys. Your version may look ridiculous to somebody else. Good. They are not paying for it, and they do not have to live your life. Back in 1999, Ramit looked at a rising market and thought being smart meant choosing the winning stock. Losing half of that $2,000 scholarship taught him the opposite. The strongest money plan was not a prediction. It was a system. Know what rich means to you. Put the important moves on automatic. Be ruthless with costs you do not value, generous with the ones you do, and patient enough to let boring investments stay boring. Your money should run quietly in the background while your rich life gets full screen.